Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to another video. And for this video, for lack of a better topic, I'm gonna say miracle versus discipline, discipline versus miracle. And what do I mean by that? So I remember I was having a conversation with somebody, and the person was talking about how he was believing God for a job. And I was like, great. And I was like, have you updated your resume? Oh, no. Okay. And I was like, how many places did you go look for a job last week? None. I was like, okay. What kind of job are you looking for? Oh, a job that pays good money. Great, but what kind of job? He mentioned some jobs. I'm like, what about your skills? What is your skill level with this job? Oh, I believe I can do it. Okay. And I was like, in my mind, I was thinking, you're praying for a miracle, but even if this miracle shows up, how is this miracle going to show up? So I think sometimes we equate, there are some things that are disciplined that we just need to discipline ourselves to do, and we don't, and we want a miracle. For one, if you want a job, that you're praying for a job, you got to update your resume. After you update your resume, you got to put your resume out. Once you put your resume out, you position yourself for interview. Get yourself ready for an interview, and then believe God for that miracle. Now, I'm not saying that unless you do these things, God cannot perform a miracle. God can perform a miracle. You can stay home and somehow your neighbor can come knock on your door and say, can I have some sugar? And you give sugar, and then next thing you know, your neighbor is having a conversation with you and say, oh, I know somebody that has a job. So yes, nothing is impossible with God. God can literally do anything. But to say you will not do your due diligence and you are expecting for a miracle is a little bit concerning. Another thing again is like, oh, I need a new car. I'm believing God for a car. Okay, great. What about your credit? Are you working? You're busy still abusing your credit, but you're believing God for a car. How do you get a car? Because okay, I think I heard one other preacher say, getting a car is not necessarily a miracle, because it's just due diligence can give you a car. If you are mindful with your credit and you have some little money saved, you can go do a down payment and get a car. So that's a discipline thing, not a miracle thing. I get that. Sometimes if you have abused your credit and you're in a bind with bills and all, it can now become a miracle situation where you're believing God for a miracle. So yes, I get that. But just because God will do a miracle does not mean let me abuse like what I can do to make things better. I'm just going to give up on it and just believe God for a miracle. Same thing with like being a parent. You can't be abusive towards your kids and say you're believing God for, and then you come and start preaching Bible, you throw Bible at your kids and drag them to church and think, oh, because you throw Bible at your kids and drag them to church, God will not use that to make a miracle. Why? And you ignore the abuse, the talking wrongly to them, not respecting them as people, not giving them and learning to respect their autonomy as a human being, their rights as a human being. You just disregard all of that and say, oh, I'm just going to do what I want because they're my children. And I believe God for a miracle. It doesn't work that way. And unfortunately, we have taken this mindset and just abused it all over. So you have Christians who are indisciplined, and yet in that indiscipline, you're believing God for a miracle. Cannot work that way. It cannot work. Some things you need to. Okay, another one is, you eat everything wrong, and then you say you're believing God to lose weight. How do you believe God to lose weight if you don't even work out? You don't work out, you don't eat right, but you're believing God to lose weight. Or no, you're believing God for long life, but you do everything to shorten your life. You eat everything wrong. You don't work out. But somehow, let's just believe God for long life. So believing God for long, God is just going to ignore all the other laws that are existing. Yes, I know the law of the Spirit of life in Christ Jesus has set us free, but just because that law of the Spirit of life in Christ Jesus supersedes every other law does not mean I should now intentionally disobey those other laws because the law of the Spirit of life in Christ Jesus is going to oversee all those laws. No. So, I'm guilty of some of this too. And I'm learning. A lot of these videos I make are things that I'm learning, mistakes that I have made that I've learned from, and I see being made, and so I make a video on it. So hopefully we will learn that there's a difference between miracles, expecting a miracle, and then doing the due diligence of what you need to do to get results. Like if I want a car, yes, I can pray to God for a car, or I can pay my bills. So my credit, I have a good credit rating. I can save money. So I don't have to spend every paycheck I get. I don't have to spend everything. That which, first of all, is a discipline thing. First of all, you're supposed to save money. Saving is not something that is extraordinary. We're supposed to already have a mindset to save. And then you believe God for the miracle. Do your part. Believe God for the miracle. Look at when Jesus created, and I'll round up with this. When Jesus had 5,000 people that needed food, he didn't just say, okay, let's pick up stones and begin to pray to God that these stones will change to bread. Or let's just pray that ravens will bring bread from somewhere. Or no, heaven will open up and manna will fall down. No. He said, does anybody have food here? This little kid showed up and was like, I got some 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. He took that, gave thanks to God, and that now became a miracle to feed 5,000 people. What you have, God blesses it to be the miracle you need. But what if he had that 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish? He was like, nah, I'm not going to give. Let me just bring only 1 fish and bring 2 loaves and hide this other one. We already know people who did that in the Bible. Ananias. They did that, where they went to sell everything, their land, and bringing the profit to God, and decided that let's hide some of the profit and bring this other one. And judgment came upon them. Not miracle, but judgment. So again, bring what you have, the little that you have. Again, the widow, I know my mind is going, brrr, I have to calm down. Elijah and the widow at Zarephath, whatever it is. She said, this is the little she had. She was going to bake that bread and she would die, eat and die. And Elijah's like, no, you're going to make that oil and flour, go make a little bread or cake for me, and I eat, and then make for yourself. And that's exactly what she did. What she had, she gave. And she gave out of what she had, and it became a miracle. So there always is something in your hand, something that you have that God blesses. You don't come with zero, like, I have absolutely nothing, I want a miracle. No, discipline yourself to get something, that little that you have. Work to get that little. Then that little, present it to God, and God blesses it and makes it a miracle. Discipline versus miracle. Miracle versus discipline. and I'll put a disclaimer. I am not saying that God cannot perform a miracle unless you do something. No, he will, because he is God. He's not limited by the laws of nature. He's not limited. So yes, you can be in your house and not go look for a job, and God, a miracle can show up and a job can come find you at home. You can have the most horrible credit, and somehow somebody, you one thing or the other, somebody comes and says, yeah, take this car, give you this car, fully paid. Yes, miracles can happen. But that's not the expectation that, oh, I'm going to just do zero and just stay and lay around and let God give me my miracle. Well, have a wonderful day. Be blessed.